Igbo bụ Igbo mma mmanụ unu abọọlachi. Anyị sịkwa nke onye chiri ya zelu ndụ mmiri ndụ azụ mmiri ata na ma azụ anwụna. Ndị be dalụ dị na-ekwu nse soro n'ife anyị na-eme n'elu akwụkwọ na Eastern News 24. Anyị sị unu ka Chukwu oke abịa mapụrụ m ihe niile gọzie unu bụ the freedom fighters, gọzie ụmụ Biafrans ise ise ise. Alright, dịka o si dị, anyị agbapụ na ya ọsọ n'ife anyị were igosi unu n'elu akwụkwọ n'ụbọchị nke taa. Ya bụ ozi bụ nnukwu ozi dị oke mkpa from Onyendu. Ya voice Onyendu, voice of Mazi Nnamdi gee ya bụ ife ọfụma. We have crossed the Rubicon, the point of no return, and there is no going back till Biafra is restored. All hail Biafra. Alright, here are Mazi Nnamdi kwuru years ago. Nsi ka nchetakwere ya ndị Igbo nke eze ọ bụrụ na chefu kwunu makwa na onye nna ya na-eme ife echefula. Ịmana Mazi Nnamdi persist in DSS custody that Biafran freedom is not negotiable. So nsi ka nghọta ya bụ ife ka ngosi unu ya ka unu fụkwa ife Mazi Nnamdi is opinion. Ọ sịkwa na Biafran freedom is not negotiable, and o kwere ife ọzọ kwugasị na ya bụ audio n'iru akwụkwọ a. Mara ka unu gee ya bụ ife, unu gesi ya bụ ife, unu try to leave us with your own comment on the comment section below. Make sure you listen to this particular audio of Mazi Nnamdi and share it to all Biafrans. Make sure, if I dig a chair now, be track on that share button, share it to all Biafrans. Ka ha gee ya bụ ife. Utende ekwu. Maka onye na-agba mgba na-agbakwa mgba, ya gee ya bụ ife. Mara ihe Mazi Nnamdi kwuru. Biafra freedom is not negotiable. Okwuwe with capital letter. It's not negotiable. So, over to you, Onyendu. Over to you, sir.
And we are not going to stop. I want the world to understand me very clearly. We are not going to stop. It doesn't matter what it takes. It doesn't matter how many lives they extinguish. It doesn't matter the genocidal tendencies they bring with them into our land. We are not going to stop. Everybody listening, everybody watching, everybody remotely interested in justice and peace must understand this. Our destination is freedom, and that very place we're heading to is Biafra. And nobody, no soul on this earth can stop us. Instead of Biafra not to come, we all perish. I want our adversaries, our enemies to understand this very, very clearly. We are not going to retreat, not one iota, not 1 inch. Because Biafra must come. Because the hatred have continued to this very day. As I'm speaking and addressing all of you right now, they are still arresting, extrajudicially murdering people in our land, people who are alien to our culture, our way of life, our tradition. They are in our land directing their people to slaughter, to kill without mercy. Unfortunately, those we regard as political leaders have connived with these people to ensure the decimation of their own population. That is the type of nonsense we can no longer condone. As you all know, there is no significant Fulani presence in our land because our fathers taught us how to fight. And we are doing so today without apologies to any idiot. We're not going to apologize because we have been apologizing for nearly 50 years. And we have not gotten anywhere in terms of our collective advancement and development in the damnable zoological republic called Nigeria. That is why we must continue what we're doing. And that is why anybody who is remotely interested in the affairs of our people must understand this, that we are determined, doubly determined. 50 years, or should I say 54 years is a very long time, and 51 years since the end of the war. But now that we have come, or should I say now that God Almighty in heaven has determined that we should come, we are not going to relent. We are not going to do anything whatsoever to jeopardize the sanctity and the holiness of this very mission. We love our people. We love every ethnic nationality that makes up Nigeria as it is presently constituted. We have no hatred towards anybody. We love peace. We love life. We love the progress of other people. But we are in a country where people hate us for no reason, where people despise us for no reason. And we can no longer go on apologizing. And Nigeria as a state the entire Africa as a continent must acknowledge. The same way they acknowledge the genocide in Rwanda, they must rise up to acknowledge the genocide in Biafra land, or else there will be no peace nor development in the whole of Africa. And I'm not saying it apologetically. I am stating a fact that ought to be forcefully demanded for. And Biafra itself must be restored for those who have come before us, for their sacrifice, for their courage, for their gallantry and their bravery. It is a very good thing today that one of the co-hosts here is our brother Dele, a man that I cherish and I appreciate very much. And also the very excellent work that Mazi is doing. But let us make this thing very, very clear. We are wronged by the Nigerian state, by every ethnic group in Nigeria. I know that my good friend and brother, Obadiah Mailafia, rang me and apologized a while ago for the role that they played in the massacre of Biafran people, the role that they played in aiding and abating a very unlawful invasion of Biafra land, because all Ojukwu asked for was restructuring. The same thing we're arguing for today. Ojukwu went to Aburi to argue for restructuring. Ojukwu did not go to Aburi to declare any state of Biafra. He never went to Aburi to declare any war. Ojukwu went to Aburi so that all of us in Nigeria, including those from the Middle Belt, from the West, everywhere can have freedom. There's something we're asking for today. They twisted the narratives. They changed our history. They turned it upside down. They made us the villain. They tried to demonize our general, a man of peace, that went to Aburi in Accra to go and in Ghana to go and negotiate for peace. A peace that Britain prevailed upon go on, not to implement. But over the years, we've been taught that we are the aggressors. Such nonsense can no longer hold, it can no longer obtain, and that is why, as I said earlier, unapologetically, we are pursuing the freedom of Biafra, and nobody can stop us. Anybody on our path is going to fall, is going to die. Instead of Biafra not to come, every living organism in Nigeria will die, I swear to God Almighty in heaven, because we are not going back. It is a good thing today that some notable Nigerians are on this very platform discussing what transpired 54 years ago. Most have tweeted to say, may it not happen again. The only way to ensure that this will not happen again is the existence of a free, sovereign Biafran nation. That is the only panacea, nothing more, nothing less. Before we came here, Ladipo Market was on fire. These vandals and vagabonds are in our land, killing people relentlessly. As I'm talking to you right now, they herded some people from Enugu to God knows where, maybe to go and kill them. And you have governors, you have political leaders, you have those who aspire to high office. They're all there. Nobody's talking, nobody's speaking, because they have a lot to benefit and to gain by us being Fulani slaves. Something that can no longer continue. Something we are not prepared to tolerate. That was something I said rather very fortuitously very many years ago. I said during one of my broadcasts on Radio Biafra that for Nigerians to understand that God is upset with them, that every tribe in Nigeria, every ethnic group in Nigeria will experience what we passed through during the Biafran War, that they too will also become refugees. And today, there are IDP camps everywhere. People that thought they were safe before now are fleeing their homes. There's something that happened to us between 1967 and 1970. And that is why our appreciation and our thanks for those men and women that fought to keep us safe can never, ever, ever be overestimated. We will continue to appreciate them. We shall continue to honor them. And I thank all of, those who are non-Biafrans. I understand that some people who are Biafrans came on this very platform and trying to play the script of their masters. That same divide and rule by saying there is something called Southeast and South-South. All bunkum. I have said it many times on many forums, on many platforms. that everybody in the East, we are all one people. I don't understand why people are hung up about this divide and rule of Gowon. It was Gowon that created Cross River State. Gowon created River State. Not because he loves the people of the South, not at all, but because he wanted to divide us. And we must rise up. We must rise up to the game of these people and say no to them. Now that Yoruba and Igbo are one, do you see them trying to play that game anymore? Now that Biafra and Oduduwa are one and inseparable, bonded together in one, do you see them playing their stupid games? I don't know why some people will come and say that from Nigeria, that from South, in order to perpetuate that very division, which the Fulanis have cleverly exploited over very many decades and many years. I don't know when we are going to learn. And the sooner we learn, the better for us. I thank all of you once again. And this very effort to recognize the genocide against Biafrans continues until the United Nations and the whole world rise up to this very challenge and acknowledge that a great deal of injustice was done to Biafrans. Tomorrow is our sit at home, complete and utter lockdown everywhere. And as I said earlier, I do commend the governors for coming out and saying that civil servants should not come or should not turn up to work tomorrow. It's a very good thing. We must all be bound together in order to ensure that Nigeria, first of all, takes the blame for what they did. And secondly, that the whole world will rise up to the obligation to the oppressed people and do the very right thing. Once again, I thank you all very much. And my very special thanks to Professor Ejiofor for the very wonderful and sterling work that you're doing, you and your team. Thank you very much. And may Chukwu Kigabe be with all of you. Thank you.
Igbo again ntị daalụ nne. Ọ na gị fe Onyendu kwuru. Onye bụla chasie ntị ya ike. Ka ị na-ada anụkwa ife akwa ị na-afụ ụzọ. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu Onyendu sị gị na Biafran freedom is not negotiable. And the Nigerian government have already killed many Biafrans and they have already crossed Rubicon. The place of no return again is neither Biafra or nothing else. So, pass the federal government this message. Alright, I could not when I get out to no joke, but you're gonna make a yan and many rock Pastamaka Biafra now, and I get out to do near Bozy. That only couldn't say so. As me got to go come up me in the Gozu no boom Biafra me. He said. Alright, thank you once again, and make sure you stay tuned. More updates on Biafra struggle is coming at Eastern News 24. And by that,